This is the Leitmotif and Movement Podcast, a father and son's journey into the vast worlds of music. I am your host, Mike Ficklin, and joining me on this epic musical journey is my son,
Michael Ficklin.
This show is dedicated to the discussion of music and introducing Michael to music from the past and present. We discuss music mainly from the genres of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. We also, from time to time, dive into film and video game scores. And we sprinkle in some surprises along the way. And this, friends, is another bonus episode because we wanted to chat for a little bit about the most recent concert we went to. Michael and I got a chance to go see Coheed and Cambria, Mastodon, and Periphery on tour near us, and we had an absolute blast. Michael, what do you got?
I just gotta shout out Mastodon real fast. Their visuals were amazing.
Yeah, dude, I was really impressed with that. Their light show, their background projections were awesome.
I loved on one of the songs that Big Monster.
Yeah. They had the big Cyclops come out and roam around the stage. That was amazing. And this was actually your first time hearing Mastodon, correct?
Yes.
What did you think of them musically?
I like their drums and guitar work. I couldn't really hear the vocals since it was kind of muddied. I could hear bits and pieces at times.
Yeah. I really feel like it was a little muddy, especially when their drummer was singing, which, how impressive is that? It's hard enough to try to coordinate your feet and your arms at the same time, much less be doing that and singing. Lead vocals.
Wow.
Crazy stuff.
Wowzers.
I thought Mastodon played a really good set. I've liked Mastodon for a really long time. I got in with them on their second full length, which was titled Leviathan, and I've kind of been with them ever since. This was actually my first time seeing them live, and I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get to see them with the original lineup. Of course, they are down a member. Brent Hines is no longer in the band. Kind of disappointing that we didn't get to see them with the original lineup. But, I thought they did a phenomenal job, even without having Brent in the band. Troy Sanders and Brand Dowler did great on vocals, so I imagine that they're going to get along just fine without Brent.
Mm-hmm.
They performed a pretty good mix of songs from all of their catalog. I kind of feel like they went really heavy on the Once More Around the Sun album. I think they had 3 songs from that. And they had 3 songs from The Hunter. So I'm guessing that that's probably some of their more popular stuff. I don't, alas, listen to them as much as I listen to some other bands, but I still walked away thoroughly impressed. They were amazing. They put on a great set. When Michael and I got to the venue, we got to our seats and we're literally sitting right next to the sound booth. And Michael and I chose to wear t-shirts for Periphery. And Periphery's sound guy saw us sitting there in our Periphery shirts, and he came up and handed us a couple of guitar picks and said that he was giving them out to anybody he saw wearing a Periphery shirt, which I thought was amazing. That was awesome. Big thanks to him.
Yes. Also, Periphery did pretty good.
Yeah. The last time I saw Periphery open, they played 4 songs. And, to be fair, most opening bands typically only get about 30 minutes. Periphery decides that they're going to come out and play the longest song in their catalog to open up the
15 minutes,
set.
by the way.
Yeah. They come out and played Reptile. They played Reptile as the opening song the first time I saw them as an opening act also. So
Did they?
That chews up like half their set time. So
did the last time we see them play, didn't they open with Reptile? Then?
I can't remember. You might remember better than I. I don't remember for sure.
I know they played a wide variety.
They did, and it wasn't nearly as wide of a variety this time.
Yeah.
Just not enough time on the set list.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing of when you're in a band that plays these longer songs. You play less songs because they're so long.
They did pretty good job on Reptile. I like how Spencer changes it up live. He changes his vocals and stuff, and adds things. I just find that cool.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like he's ad-libbing, kind of changing the vocal melody kind of subtly on the fly. I love it when a band does that, kind of experiments with a song, make it sound a little bit differently than what you hear on the record. I think for them, it kind of keeps things interesting. I gotta imagine going out there and playing the same songs over and over and over again on long tours probably gets tedious. So you want to do something that kind of keeps you on your toes and, it keeps it interesting for you. Periphery played Reptile, which comes from P4. They played Wildfire and Atropos from P5. Those are pretty much the same songs I saw them play the first time I saw them when they opened for Under Oath. And
Where's My Wax Wings?
There was only one other song they played, which was Marigold, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't play that this time around either.
That caught me off guard.
That they didn't play Marigold?
Yeah.
I will say, I kind of feel bad for them, because it seemed like they kept trying to get a pit going, and the crowd really wasn't into doing that, and it was kind of a bummer, because Periphery is fantastic.
Nobody was drunk enough for it yet.
It's not a matter of being drunk. It's more about the fact that they're the opening act, and nobody wants to burn out all of their energy on the opening act. Again, it's a shame, because Periphery is a phenomenal band. They do fantastic live. Spencer has charisma out the ass. And I am always impressed with the 3 guitarists in the band. Misha, Mark, and Jake. They're on point. Every time I've seen them, they've been absolutely on point. They're phenomenal live. And also, I gotta give a tip of the hat to Matt, their drummer, especially playing a long song like Reptile, in doing so flawlessly. Very impressive.
Where's My Wax Wings?
Right? Although Spencer did say the last time we saw them that he probably wasn't going to be playing that anymore, which it's a real shame, because he nailed it live. Michael, what did you think about Coheed?
Holy. I just gotta give it was just amazing. They had the crowd singing. I say my favorite song they played was In Keeping Secrets. That was probably the best thing I've seen from any crowd.
Yeah,
a hot minute.
The crowd was outstanding while Coheed and Cambria were on stage. Lots of singing along, especially on the big anthems like In Keeping Secrets, or even when they did Everything Evil, A Favor House Atlantic, Welcome Home. All of those songs got big sing-alongs from the crowd.
I was singing along to the songs I knew, like Goodbye Sunshine, In Keeping Secrets, also Blind Sign, Sonny, Searching for
Sonny?
Tomorrow, Sonny. Ah! I can't speak. That was really the only songs I knew, which I love. After on the way up there, on the way to the back, the only thing I played was Coheed and Cambria.
Michael got a little bit of a journey on the way home.
Yes. But Coheed did amazing.
Yeah, they had a really cool light show and stage show as well. I think it was right before they played Blindside Sunny, they brought up this full 3D representation of Blindside Sunny in the background, and he stayed there the rest of the show. He had the goggles on, and they were flashing different things on the goggles and stuff. Super cool. I thought that was really, really cool.
No, I think he went away when In Keeping Secrets played.
You might be right. I thought he stayed on for the rest of the show, but you might be right.
Oh, and
regardless.
I missed the song. I miss Everything's Evil, too.
Yeah.
When Everything Evil came on, I feel a nudge on my shoulder. Dad just told me, you should know this song.
Yeah, I think towards the end of the song, I said to you, you can't tell this is a crowd favorite, can you? I thought their stage setup was really cool. I liked the ramps they had on both sides that they could walk up on and stuff. I thought that was really, really cool. It gave a unique stage presence for them.
Yeah, Claudio kept on running around.
Travis, too.
I didn't see Travis running around. I saw Claudio run around a lot.
I will say this. I thought it kind of odd that Claudio didn't really interact with the crowd very much.
Yes. That is something I caught. He was very silent.
Travis did most of the talking to the crowd. Claudio did say like one thing to the crowd, but otherwise he mostly just did his performance and stuff. I just thought it was kind of odd. I don't know if maybe Claudio was concerned about keeping his vocals in check or whatever, but yeah, just thought that was kind of odd that he didn't interact with the crowd more.
And the biggest mystery of the whole entire concert, what Spencer yelled at the end of his...
Yeah, Michael and I were trying to figure out what he was going off about as Periphery was leaving the stage. He said something about somebody could go to hell, but I couldn't figure out what he was talking about. I'm sure whatever it was probably said in jest, but I couldn't tell what it was. I did go to the Periphery subreddit and responded to someone's post about receiving a guitar pick at the show we were at, and had asked if he caught what was said, and he said that he couldn't tell what Spencer was talking about either. I tell you what, I saw a video that Misha had posted on Threads of Spencer getting invited to go out and sing A Favor House Atlantic with Coheed. I wish we would have got to see that at the show we were at. That would have been awesome. It sounded like Spencer nailed it. I thought Coheed played a really good range of songs too.
Yeah.
They played quite a bit from the new record.
Mhm.
Just looking at the set list, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They played 7 songs from the new record. That's, in my experience in going to see live music, a lot of times bands don't play that much from a new record just because they're not sure the kind of reception that it's going to get from the crowd. Sometimes the crowd kind of has a tendency to go wander off and get something to drink or use that to go on a bathroom break and don't really get into it with the newer songs, especially when it's an established band like Coheed. So I was surprised that they played so much new material. That new material from the new album, it definitely outranked anything else that they played, any of the albums they played from.
Disagree.
Disagree with what? I wasn't giving an opinion. I was stating a fact. What do you disagree about?
You saying it is that the music they played off their new record is the best they did for the set list.
No. What I'm saying is that they played more songs from that album
Oh,
than they did
oh,
any
I
other album.
misunderstood.
Yeah, I probably wasn't very clear. They surprised me coming out and playing a cover song. Coheed has 11 albums that they could pick songs from, but they come out and play a cover song from Danzig. They played Mother. They did a good job with the song. I like the song. It definitely got the crowd singing along too. I kind of nudged Michael and told him that it was a cover song, but I was kind of surprised because they've got so much material to choose from to come out and play a cover song. I thought was kind of weird, but it was a cool choice. I hadn't heard Mother in forever, so what did you think of that?
They did pretty good, even though I've never heard
the original
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the favorite song they played was "In Keeping Secrets."
Yeah, I really liked In Keeping Secrets. The energy from the crowd is what really sold that song live. The energy from the crowd. That and Welcome Home, too. The crowd was all in on Welcome Home.
Mm-hmm.
So Coheed opened their set with Yesterday's Lost from their new record, and then closed the set with Welcome Home from Good Apollo Volume 1. So Welcome Home just goes hard as hell, and Coheed just rocked it. They kind of played around with it a little bit, jammed on it.
Didn't they make a joke about them playing Welcome Home earlier in the set?
Claudio, I think, was telling somebody in the band Welcome Home. They must have been from around the area, but I didn't catch who it was. And he said Welcome Home, and then he went back and he goes, not the song.
But I wish I knew more of the songs, like the parts that they had the crowd going with.
So going into the show, you had heard the Second Stage Turbine Blade. You had heard the new record, but you had not heard In Keeping Secrets, the entire record In Keeping Secrets, right? You didn't hear that the whole record until we went home.
Yes.
So you only knew the new stuff, and you knew Second Stage Turbine Blade. So you knew Everything Evil when they played that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew a good lot of the set. I knew 8 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I knew about half of it.
Yeah, not too bad. And they made a fan out of you. Michael said that he ended up creating a big playlist with all 11 of their records on it. So,
yes.
Have you actually gotten to listening to the rest of it yet?
So the furthest I've gotten is through Good Apollo.
Okay. And did you like Good Apollo?
Yes.
I can't wait to actually talk to you about some of these other records in their catalog. There's some fun stuff on Good Apollo.
Mm-hmm. It would be a very interesting talk if we do talk about Good Apollo, just mainly because of Welcome Home.
Oh, I do want to mention real quickly about Mastodon. They closed their set with Blood and Thunder from Leviathan, and that did get the crowd going. They had a pretty good pit going on for that.
They both Mastodon and Coheed had a couple of pits going.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what Coheed songs they got the pit going on.
I know they definitely got an Inkeeping Secrets.
It looked like they might have gotten one going on Welcome Home also.
They may have gotten one maybe for Goodbye Sunshine.
It's not a very hard song. I don't know. You might be right. Some of the finer details I'm missing.
I may have known more songs than I actually thought. Wait, I need to do a recounting. I didn't do a miscount. I got 8 again.
Okay.
Let's make sure.
Real quickly, I wanted to touch on the merch booth for the bands. That was the first thing we saw when we walked into the actual auditorium where the show was being held at. And I didn't much care for the designs for Periphery shirts, and neither did Michael, so we slid over into the Coheed and Cambria line, and we did like some of their shirts. And something that I saw that I wish I had a little bit of extra cash for is they had copies of all of the graphic novels for the Second Stage Turbine Blade, Inkeeping Secrets, Good Apollo 1, and No World for Tomorrow, and they were all autographed by Claudio. I wish I had some extra money. I would have threw down for those. They were all in hardback. Would have loved to have had those.
Yeah, I had my eyes just fixated on those.
If I had had the extra cash, I definitely would have got them. They weren't terribly expensive. I want to say they were like $40 a pop. That's not bad. They're not bad at all.
I think one was 30.
You might be right, but I think that was for one of the Vaxis books. It wasn't the graphic novel.
I think it was for one of the Vaxis ones.
Yeah. Michael, anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Great show. Great performance from everybody. I would gladly see every single one of those bands again. Especially Coheed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you ended up liking Mastodon and Coheed. I know that you haven't really dug into the Mastodon catalog yet, but I know you're digging into the Coheed catalog. We will definitely be talking more about those guys. All right, with that said, we want to hear from you. We will read your emails and messages on the show. We have only one request. Keep them clean. There are several ways to contact us. You can email us at lightmovepod@gmail.com. You can also reach us on several social media platforms such as Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Details on how to connect with us are in the show notes. We are part of the SPDM Crew Podcast Network. Check out all of the podcasts on the network by visiting spdmcrew.com.
If you like the show, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and share with your friends and family. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a variety of other platforms. We are also on YouTube. Can't find us on your chosen platform? Shoot us a message and let us know. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This helps us be found in the algorithm. Make them good and we'll read them on the air. Are you in a band and you'd like for us to check you out and possibly drop a recommendation on the show? Shoot us a message. We'd love to check you out and give you a shout.
We'd like to thank you very much for listening to the Leitmotif and Movement Podcast.
Take care and enjoy music.